conclusion of Across the Spider-Verse revealed a surprising twist as we saw Miles G. Morales unveil his identity as Prowler on Earth 42. But why did Miles become the Prowler? Where does this change leave Miles Morales now? And what could the future hold for this new iteration of this character? So in today's video, we're going to be diving deep into a few theories and explore the Prowler's comic book background to potentially unravel the mystery. But before we dive into it, welcome to Keepin It Comic. I'm GoofyRhexxi.
I'm Dezzy.
All right, Dezzy, so the first thing, we got to dive into the backstory. So tell us a little bit here about Prowler.
I mean, the Prowler made his first appearance in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 78 in, I think, 1969. You know, and the Prowler's character is known for his high-tech suit and he prowls in stealth, hence the name.
Right.
You know, but a big thing a lot of people don't know is several individuals have taken up the mantle of the Prowler over the years. So you had Hobie Brown, who was the original, Rick Lawson, who was, I believe he was MC2, and that universe was set in the distant future, actually. And then you had Rick Sheridan, and then, of course, you had Aaron Davis, who's Miles' uncle.
Right. And, of course, we remember from Into the Spider-Verse where Aaron Davis is revealed as a Prowler. And, of course, he's killed by Kingpin.
Yep.
And then, of course, now in Across the Spider-Verse, we're seeing this surprising little shift where Miles, now, of course, this is a different Earth. This is Earth 42 now, where he's actually holding this Prowler suit. And that Prowler suit, I'm not going to lie to you, looks fire.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And it leads to everyone's big question is, why would Miles become the Prowler? And the thing is, we obviously don't have anything set in stones, but I do have some theories, you know, because we do know that Miles from Earth 1610, which is the main character, was the one bitten by the spider on Earth 42.
This led to Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker from Earth 1610, which was explained in Across the Spider-Verse by Miguel, and that's the reason why that Peter Parker died. Yes. And of course, that also now means that there's no Spider-Man in Earth 42.
Exactly. See, you caught on what I was going with this right away.
Yeah.
You know, but this leads to, with no Spider-Man Earth 42, that means Miles never had that role model that he idolized. Think about how when he seen Spider-Man, he was kind of, even though he was in danger, he was ecstatic to see that the Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Right.
So
he was
without
scared
that,
and excited at the same time, right? He was like, oh my goodness. You got the Spidey sense, or as Tom Holland says, the Peter Tingle.
Yes.
The tingle.
Exactly. So that whole thing is now ripped away from his life.
Right.
Okay. And another thing is, we also seen that the canon event still happened on Earth 42, even though it didn't have a Spider-Man. But we can probably get into that in a whole separate video about the whole canon events type situation.
Let's not overcomplicate for this video.
Yes.
Yeah, so now with Miles's father, he's dead now. So he grew up, looks as if though he grew up with his uncle, and his uncle is who's with his mom, right? Maybe I'm insinuating this, but I'm assuming that, you know, his uncle and his mom are now together. Like,
yeah, they definitely looked really close. So I'm not sure which direction, if this is a relationship or, hey, you know, that's my nephew, so I'm taking care of you because you're family. I don't really know how they're going to go with that. But a big thing is now he could have, and I'm talking about Miles, he could have went on this path because now his father's not there. He has to support his mother, you know, kind of let me step up to the plate as man of the house. We've seen how dark that world is already, so I doubt he was getting a regular 9 to 5.
I definitely doubt it. And there's a couple of things that we could talk about too, like Miles G. Morales becoming Prowler. If we remember, we saw in that scene where, number one, they're doing a lot of flashbacks into the Spider-Verse because you have the punching bag that he's on, right? Which, of course, we saw that same punching bag in his uncle's apartment and Into the Spider-Verse. So it's the same punching bag that we're seeing here in Earth 42 or similar, right? Replicated punching bag. And then you also have, which of course we're probably assuming is the way that Miles G. Morales was able to learn how to fight, right? Because he wasn't doing that, of course, in Into the Spider-Verse because he died. But in Earth 42 now, he has full access to be able to do that. And we're also seeing kind of the tie-up, right? Because Peter B. Parker was also tied to that same little punching bag as well.
Exactly.
So
do you remember what he said?
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Because he said, "Oh, wash the face, wash their hands," right? And then now we're seeing Miles at the very end of the movie.
Exactly.
He's seeing the sparks coming from his finger,
and he's talking, distracted him while he's doing that. So this is showing a progression with Miles for sure. Question I really do have is, you know, I understand Miles got knocked out with one hit. Where was the spider sense?
Yeah, what did we miss that? Did we just like once over it? Or but seriously, how was he not able to notice that he was in danger?
Yeah, his spider sense never went off. I checked it again. It never went off. There was a defect there. You know.
What's your theory on it?
So the only thing I can think of is keep in mind that this is him versus him. Even though they're two different Earths, maybe he doesn't consider himself a danger to himself.
Or maybe his body doesn't consider himself to be a danger to himself.
It wouldn't be him. It would be the spider sense itself. But maybe because it's him versus him, it's not picking up like an outside source is your danger.
Okay. Do you think that maybe it has something to do with the fact that he was glitching because it's not obviously not his world? Do you think that maybe that affected his spider sense?
It definitely could have. There's no telling. They might never tell us the answer to it, but it was something I noticed. His spider sense never went off.
His spider sense never went off. I would have to check to the Into the Spider-Verse movie to see if Gwen had hers goes off when she was in his world and Peter B. Parker when they were in his world. But I feel like there was a moment where they all were together and you could see remember,
noticed when Miles first came into interaction with Gwen in the first movie, their spider senses both went off at the same time.
Okay. So definitely a plot hole then if his spider sense didn't go off in Earth 42. But, tell me, what do you think here is going to happen with the future of this Miles G. Morales? Do you think that he stays evil? So
I mean, this is where being, a comic book fan like myself comes in, because in the comic books, there was actually Rick Lawson, who was the Prowler. He actually became a good guy in the future and was a part of the Annex. So that could be happening.
It's a weird name.
Yeah. Do you actually know about the Annex?
I have no idea who the Annex is. I'm sorry, guys. I don't.
So the Annex was a group that included, of course, Prowler, but there was some other people in it like Spider-Girl, Captain America, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Stinger, and even Vision. So, I'm wondering now if this is going to be the reason this Miles had to meet this other Miles G. Morales is he's going to be the reason he might turn into a superhero and then take the place of the Spider-Man that is missing.
Okay. So I like that twist, right? Because I feel like the innate feeling that I have is that Miles has to be a good guy. So maybe with Prowler originally starting off as a villain, that with, I don't know if it's a future A-Next or whatever it is that they get it for, but him actually becoming a good person. After evolving, potentially maybe the direction that they go in. It would be kind of cheesy, I guess, though. But also, come on now, we kind of like cheesy sometimes.
I mean, keep in mind, this is Miles, though. He makes the impossible possible. I don't think they're gonna come up. I don't think they're gonna come up with a whole A-Next project. I just think they're gonna use parts of the comic book as reference to say, hey, we're gonna turn the Prowler into a good guy.
Right. That's good. That's completely fair. I would definitely love to see it. I'm curious to see how that fight goes. This next movie is going to be absolutely amazing. Yes. And think about it, man. We've barely scratched the surface as it pertains to the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse story here. We're definitely going to be exploring so much more on this channel. The film twist with Prowler, there's definitely more to come. We're going to talk about some of the canon events here. Now, another question that I definitely do have here is, how do you think that they portrayed Miguel O'Hara in the Across the Spider-Verse movie? Do you think that they got it right? Take a look here at this video that we just recently did where we talk about Spider-Man 2099, his comic book history breakdown, and let us know your thoughts. Did they get it right there? Gently also touch the like button. Also subscribe for more here on the channel. And until next time, and as always, guys, thanks for what you're kicking it. Keeping it comic.